How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age, and this is another
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, and we're doing an unusual one today. What we're doing is... Stop that! What? Why are you playing The Stars and Stripes Are Forever in my intro again?
What do you mean again?
Did it back in episode 4 with the unknown soldier.
Oh, we did do that, didn't we?
You did that.
Aren't you the one in charge of editing?
Anyways, we are doing The Stars and Stripes from Centaur comic books. This was a very short done thing. Three episodes or 3 issues. Kind of a lengthy story, 12 pages. So they were a little bit longer than your normal superheroes done back then. I mean, I think maybe because it was a team, they went on a little bit longer than what you would do as singles. It's unusual. The concept of their creation, which we will cover their origin, is unlike what I've seen from patriotic superheroes. It was kind of an odd take, and the fact that they're on the run from the government was also an unusual twist on them being patriotic superheroes. So we're going to go ahead and cover them a little bit and explain the 3 stories, and then we'll go over the origin story, and you'll see why this was an unusual one, because patriotic superheroes work with the government, not against them. So this was a rather unique take, and I kind of would have wanted to see them do more, but we only got the 3 issues, or at least that's all I was able to locate. I wasn't able to find any kind of character pages on them. I think one of the main reasons is because when you type in The Stars and Stripes, you definitely don't come up with this team. You come up with the fact that the Stars and Stripes, it's America. Anyways, let's go over the intro of what I was able to find and about the team, and we'll cover the origin. So let's do this. The Stars and Stripes first appeared in The Stars and Stripes number 4 in 1941. The publisher is Centaur, and I'm not sure who created The Stars and Stripes. It's interesting that they come in number 4, considering that the title of it is Stars and Stripes. And Stars and Stripes was kind of weird being in Centaur. It started with number 2 and ended with number 6. And the Stars and Stripes would only have 3 appearances, and they're a patriotic superhero team, which is weird that they're patriotic because they're on the run from their own government. Now, the 3 people get thrown into, I think they're in Germany, and they get thrown into a concentration camp for various reasons. You have Pepper, Patrick J. O'Henry, Whitey, Benjamin Franklin Allen, and Vance Stuyvesant III. I had to look that up, but I hadn't seen the name spelled like that before. And just to get a breakdown of who these are, when they're in the prison camp, Patrick starts doing a little exposition thing where he says, "What a break! Vance Stuyvesant III, the fighting playboy, Benjamin Franklin Allen, the dashing diplomat, and me, Patrick J. O. Henry, the mad news hound, all in the same camp." Yeah. So they all get put in the same concentration camp, and they break out together, and they go back to America. And just as they get back, they're confronted by our government, basically. "Sorry, boys, we've got to take you down to headquarters. Hey, what kind of welcome is this? You men are escaped prisoners of a foreign government. We'll have to hold you until you can be sent back to the other side." Oh, bull. They're not going to take 3 American citizens who were able to break out of a concentration camp and send them back. That's in the history of things that would never happen, that would never happen the most. I can't be 100% sure of that, considering it's 1941, but I'm pretty sure that would never happen. I mean, these guys were thrown into a concentration camp on trumped-up charges in the first place. So we're going to briefly go over all three stories. In the first one, it's their origin story. The fact that they were thrown in a concentration camp, they're on the run from their government. They even take the... you can see here, they take their concentration camp uniform and they paint stars and stripes on it so they can be, heroes, and they call themselves the Stars and Stripes. And it's just basically their origin story and their first fight together. And these stories are not small stories. They're about 12 pages for each one of them. So in the first one, we have their origin story and the first chance of them to do good, which we will go over because we covered the origins. The second one, let's see, an army base gets overrun by, it was Ajax. He was supposed to have been a pilot that disappeared. He helped gas a base and freed a bunch of criminals, and they took over the base. And then the Stars and Stripes had to go there and stop them all. And the Stars and Stripes ended up, they were invading, the prisoners were invading a town, and the Stars and Stripes stopped them by bombing them. What? Okay, and in the third one, it looks like a bunch of diplomats were on a ski resort / summit to put their heads together. And the whole time they're there, a foreign soldier tries to murder the diplomats by a series of unfortunate events. And the Stars and Stripes knew that they were going to be meeting and they might be in danger. So they were there to stop everything from happening and take down the foreign agents. But that's basically what they did. A couple of fifth columnists, escaped prisoners, and enemy commander who had a bunch of guys working for him, and the guy eliminated each time they failed. So that's really all there is to go into it. There's not too much about them. There's no superpowers. There's no gadgets. There's no gimmicks. Well, I mean, besides the patriotic thing. But that's just what it is. So let's go ahead and we can cover the first appearance, so you can see how fast it was. When they appeared in issue 4, they own the cover of 4, 5, and 6, and they're also the feature story of 4, 5, and 6. Now, I think that Centaur had originally planned for them to go longer, because on the very last page of their stories, it said more Stars and Stripes in the next issue. So I do suspect that they were supposed to go on longer, but Centaur was weird in how they did this. And this was 1941. Patriotic superheroes were still a thing back then. Let's see, on the last page, Fight for America with Stars and Stripes in the next issue. So I do think they intended to go on longer. They didn't for whatever reason. It was 1942. Superheroes weren't becoming disenfranchised yet. Even patriotic superheroes weren't becoming disenfranchised yet. So any guess why the comic book didn't go on any longer? But that's Centaur. They did a whole bunch of weird stuff like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and cover their first appearance so you can have a better idea of who the Stars and Stripes were and what they may have been attempting to go with. I like this opener. The Stars and Stripes. You see them busting through the window. Here they are, kids, the guys you're going to hear plenty about from now on. Uncle Sam's three-man army, the Stars and Stripes. Read all about how they get their name, their solemn vow they take sealed with blood, how they smash the most vicious, insidious gangs of saboteurs America has ever had to contend with. They're rough, tough, and nasty, and like all nephews of Uncle Sam, they don't know the meaning of the word quit. Like the flag they represent, they are are never down. I mean, that is quite an opener. Okay, in the military court of the capital of Europe's aggressive nations, the court is now ready to sentence the prisoners. Sentenced 3 American prisoners. Patrick J. O. Henry, newspaper correspondent, stepped forward. Now, I think it was Germany, but they never replace any of the words that they're saying with V's, like it was common to do in the Golden Age, to let them know, hey, they're German, because every word, the words have V's. I will find a way to defeat you. You know, they're not doing that there. Okay. So he finds out that he's getting thrown into, let's see, we found you guilty of sending false reports to the American papers. That is a grave offense. You are hereby sentenced to a conviction, or sentenced to a concentration camp. I don't know why I did that the first time. Sentenced to a concentration camp until the end of the war. Yeah, they would let him out at the end of the war. All right, after they take care of Patrick, they go to Benjamin. And you, Benjamin Franklin Allen, as Secretary of American Diplomats, you use your trust to steal vital state secrets. You are condemned to a concentration camp for life. See, Patrick was just going to be for the end of the war. He's for life. Another trumped-up charge, but what's the use of arguing with this puppet? Vance Stuyvesant III, the next prisoner, we found guilty of attacking and killing an officer of our command while enjoying the privileges of a tourist in the fatherland. And I'd do it again. I would do the same things again. I hate the way you talk. Again, if I saw that uniform rat beating a little crippled girl who happened to get in his way. So the other two are claiming that they're innocent. He said that he would do it again. So he's actually admitting to it. So they actually are marching the prisoners away. They say, don't try to escape or you will be killed. Which they immediately try to escape. They fail, but surprise, surprise, they're not dead. I mean, they actually said, if you try to escape, we're going to kill you. And they try to escape, and they don't kill them. No, they try to jump into the truck that's going to take them to the concentration camp. They're overwhelmed by numbers, and they're thrown in, and the three of them meet together. After that, the three American boys are closely guarded. 3 months later, after a series of transfers, they find themselves all in the same concentration camp. Wow. Okay. I read this little paragraph when I was doing the opener. What a break. Vance Stuyvesant III, the fighting playboy. Benjamin Franklin Allen, the dashing diplomat. Me, Patrick J. O. Henry, the mad news hound. All in the same camp. So they say, hey, let's forget our fancy names and let's go by some code names. Whitey, Pepper, and Van. Why are you going by Whitey? I don't understand. If you had a black member, would you? No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, anyways. So they make a plan together where they've stalked out the camp. They know that one of the guards gets drunk every night and falls asleep, and that's when they know that they can make their escape. So they get everything ready that night, and they get out through dismal swamps and black forests like hunted animals. The three men endures untold hardships, making their way towards the border. I would have liked to have seen some of that. All you do is just show them walking through a swamp. Okay. So the three men are on a boat, and they're getting into America, and as they get there, they are confronted by... I think these are G-men, to be honest. The way they're talking about taking them to headquarters, and the fact that G-men wore outfits like this, top coat and hat. So I'm thinking that they're actually G-men. You men are escaped prisoners from a foreign government and will have to hold you until you can be sent back to the other side. But you can't do that. We won't stand a chance if we're sent back. We're only carrying out orders. So they all hop into a cab and get away. I don't think that would happen. And they're escaped prisoners from a foreign country. The most that would happen was they would be questioned about what they see, what they did, what they saw, and what kind of measures can they use. They're not going to get sent back. They would get killed if they got sent back. None of that makes any sense. And it's not explained. It is not explained any better why they want to send these three back. I mean, it can't be for diplomatic relations. We're in the middle of World War II. That's 1941. I think we're coming to the end. Anyways. Okay, so as they get into the cab, the G-men momentarily chase them. Nice going, Pepper. If we hadn't escaped, we'd be returned to Europe. Sure, with all the phony evidence those foreigners probably sent over here. We'll have this hack take us to my home and we'll make our plans. I still don't think that they would get sent back. It doesn't make any sense. It wouldn't be for diplomatic relations or, any peace accord or anything. They're just three guys anyways. Okay, so as they're setting up, they're trying to find out where they're going to hold up at. And I think it's Van who says this. It could be Pepper. I have a summer home on the island in the middle of one of the Great Lakes. We can build a secret hideout underneath it and use it for our headquarters. If he's the flighting playboy, I would think that would have to be Van who would have the summer home. And that kind of makes sense. So they take their concentration camp and outfits and they dress them up in the Stars and Stripes. And the Stars and Stripes prick the tips of their fingers with a needle to sign the pledge with their own blood. We hereby do most solemnly vow to devote every minute and every effort of our lives from now on to fight all enemies of America who seek to put our great land in the same sad plight in which certain dictator-controlled nations now find themselves. Signed, and it's the three members of the Stars and Stripes. See, that's why I thought it was Germany, because it said dictator-controlled nations. And then they salute the flag. The Stars and Stripes forever. The Stars and Stripes grow big. Okay. Let's see. The next day, they're looking at the paper, and they find what could possibly need a help from the Stars and Stripes. Vital sections of national defense programs held up by strikes. What the heck is this? This can't be a proper newspaper. The headline is butchered. With, national should have all have been in the same line. It shouldn't have been broken up like that. There's no newspaper mentioned at the very top, which newspapers back then always had what newspaper they are. A lot of newspapers do that today too. And there's no byline. This can't be a newspaper. If it is the most ill-conceived and ill-gotten newspaper I have ever seen. Today, the 5,000 workers of the Munitions Manufacturing Corporation. That's a lot of workers. Could a factory in 1941 sustain 5,000 workers? I mean, theoretically, but that's a lot of people to manage. I mean, the largest factory built today, built in 2023, had 61,000 people in it, but that's 2023, not 1941. Okay, let's see. They walked out. Yeah, this is a horrible newspaper because look at that. Look at that space between the first two sentences and the third one, and they're all part of the same paragraph. It's not two different paragraphs. Walked out of the huge plant, refusing to go back to work until demands of the union are met. The Mid-City plant, Mid-City, is a vital factor in the nation's defense program, and if they strike, countries at... Okay, yeah, it starts to... Yeah, okay. Someone's got to do something about that. About that, men. Nothing must stop the United States preparedness program. Let's head for Midway City right now. What is Midway City? Where is Midway City? Anyways... they get in their boat and they dress in regular clothes so they can try and see what's going on. And they see this guy right here, workers of Midway. We're going to kill any bimbo, really, who tries to scab on the U.S. The factory is making millions and we're going to get our share. Okay, to a point. If you have 5,000 workers, the manufacturing company needs to bring in a lot of money to pay all 5,000 workers. Do you know how much money it takes to pay 5,000 people? And yeah, manufacturing companies, they did bring in a lot of money, but they did it for the good of the country. And people wanted to work because they knew that they were helping the nation fighting a war. And 5,000 people. Hold on a second. I was just curious to what it would take to pay all the 5,000 workers, because, they're talking about bringing in millions. So let's say that these guys working in the manufacturing munitions, 1941, let's say they're making $15 an hour because, they're factory workers. So we got 15 hours, $15 an hour times 40 hours a week, which is $600 a week. We times that by 4, because we're conservatively going 4 weeks in a year. That's $2,400. And then we times that by 12 months, which is $28,800. Now that's what one person is making a year. Now we times that by 5,000 people. That means that they are spending $144 million to pay each one of their workers. Now, let's say that they're not making $15 an hour. Let's say that conservatively they're making $10 an hour. It is 1941. So $10 an hour at 40 hours a week is $400. We times that by 4, we get $1,600. We times the $1,600 a month by 12 months, and we get $19,200. Now, we times that by 5,000 workers. So if they're getting paid $10 an hour, it's costing $96 million to employ everybody. So yeah, the company is making millions of dollars to pay all 5,000 workers. This whole argument is bull. I mean, yeah, they're making $96,000. Well, they kind of have to pay everybody. And even if they only work half a year, it's like, let's say that they're only being employed for 6 months, so the 96, let's divide that by 2. It would still be $48 million. So yeah, they're bringing in millions of dollars to pay everybody. Anyway, so yeah, you guys are all they're making millions of dollars to pay all of you. Okay, let's go to the munitions plant and show these guys we mean business, and then they go and talk to someone. We're strangers in town, mister. What's the strike about? Gee, there's been so much talk, I ain't really sure what's behind it. I thought the factory treated their employees fair and square. They do, and we know how important our work is to the country. We didn't want to strike at first, but the plant foreman made us, and now they've got everybody worked up. So yeah, these people, they want to work, and they want to work for the good of the union. Okay, so they all dress in their Stars and Stripes uniform, and apparently there's 3 different foremen now. We'll each visit one of the foremen and see what they have to say. And the guy who was talking to him said the plant foreman, indicating one. The foreman. And then suddenly there's 3 different foremen. Okay. So we go to the first foreman at that moment at the home of John Mills, one of the foremen at the munitions plant. When you just said there was okay. So he says, listen, Richter, you're an official from the union and all, but I can't carry out your orders any further. The men don't want to strike, and this isn't fair to our country. This guy doesn't look like he's American at all. So he says, hey, I know you don't care about your safety, but I'm sure you care about your wife and kids, and if you don't do that, they're all going to die. And, there's nobody from a foreign or an American government is going to tell you to strike and not, put forth for the war effort. If you don't listen to me, I'll blow up your family. I don't care about myself, but you must not do anything to my wife and children. I'll do anything you say. We must have more violence. We must force the plant officials to meet our demands in a hurry. You're going to order strikers to break the factory windows and attack anyone who tries to enter the plant. And then Patrick feels that he's heard enough, and he comes in. Mind if I get in on this conference? Why did you draw him looking like that? He just jumped through the window. He's not striking a pose. Anyways, he confronts this guy, and the fight looks pretty decent at first. Why you dressed up freak? Oh, we'll see the little man who wasn't there. What? What does that even mean? So he picks up this guy, he delivers a punch so hard that he goes flying through the air, and then he throws a table and hits Patrick with the table. It's so stupid. Okay, the next 4 panels here, I absolutely hate them. This is one of the worst drawn fights I have ever seen. And it's not even a sign of the times. I have seen some fight scenes in 1941 that look very good. And the action is drawn so well that it almost seems to fly off the page. This seems very stilted. So I'm not a fan of these next 3 panels. I mean, look at the 3rd panel over here. The way he hits him and he's up in the air doubling over. That's so stupid. And then the next one, his fists and arms are flailing in such a weird way as he knocks him out. Mercy. Why did he have to interfere? We'll all be killed for this. Well, that guy can fight. We'll all be killed for this. No, you won't, Mr. Mills. Don't worry. When the Stars and Stripes get through with this bunch, they won't be alone to hurt anyone. How do you see a guy coming in and stopping someone and thinking, oh, we're all going to be killed? That's just ridiculous. So all 3 of them meet back, and they have similar stories as the foreman's being threatened. So they realize that they need to head where Richter's and the others have their headquarters at the hotel. That's it? It's just a hotel? What hotel? Which hotel? Is there only one hotel in town? I would hope not. As the Stars and Stripes head for the hotel, a strange meeting is being held in one of the rooms. Okay, now I know that this exposition is for us, which is happening on this page, but nobody's ever going to have a conversation like this. What a racket. We'll kill off all the union officials and take their places, and then we'll call strikes all over the country, and we'll cripple the defense program and make ourselves a pile of jack at the same time. They already all know what they're doing. They know what their plan is. They know how they know what this is. They wouldn't be talking loudly like this. I know it's for us, but it's so unnatural. So the Stars and Stripes, just as I thought, a bunch of foreign spies are behind the strike. Let's go get them. So the Stars and Stripes are outside the window, and then they bust in the door. Another badly drawn action sequence, the way they bust through. And the whole page here, I really, the action scenes do look a little better in the next 2 issues. It's just really, right here, it looks really bad. I mean, go pick up some Jack Kirby work. You'll see great ways to draw a fight scene. Anyways, we see the Stars and Stripes making short work of the gangsters. One guy says, if I can get the guns we've got hidden in the closet. And we see him that he pulls out a Tommy gun, but then he gets it knocked out of his hand. And all the guys that are in the room are knocked down. The Stars and Stripes quickly polish off the spies. Then, what an arsenal these punks had. Guess they're going to use these weapons in a strike later. That would have caused plenty of trouble. At the hotel, the new menace threats, a new menace threat. The way the word was separated and put there, I couldn't exactly. I was having trouble reading it. Menace threatens the Stars and Stripes. I heard the boss yelling for help. Let's crash in and see what's the trouble. I'm itching for a chance to use this gat. I actually thought that was a strange phrase. I thought gat was more of a modern term, but no. Gat can pretty much mean a handgun, so I was actually surprised to see someone using the word gat. Okay, so they come in and immediately start shooting. The fancy costumes have beaten up the bosses. What if the bosses weren't down on the floor? You came in shooting. You would have shot them. Okay, instantly a crashing gun battles ensues. Good thing we had these guns, or good thing we had the guns or he would have been slaughtered. Van, Whitney, try not to shoot to kill. I want the law to take care of these mugs. Let's rush them. Oh, my legs. So they use the weapons to take down the bad guys, but they make sure that they don't kill them. You didn't have any problem killing them in the next issue when you bombed the entire town to get rid of the bad guys and prisoners. Let's see. Seems all hard-boiled eggs are yellow inside. What? What does that even mean? Are you calling the crook an egg? I don't even know. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you be calling the crook an egg? Hold fire, I'll give up. Your aim is too deadly. A few minutes later. How is their aim so accurate? One's a fighting playboy, the other is a state secretary, I think, because he holds secrets, and the other one's a news hound. How are you guys so accurately shooting? A few minutes when the place arrives, well, I'll be the Stars and Stripes forever. And let's go ahead and read these last pages right here. I hate it when artwork goes outside the panels. There's no cause for that. All right. The next morning, the papers carry a full account of the spies. Didn't they say they found like Nazi marks on them? Okay. The next morning, the papers carry on a full account of the spies captured and strike. The capture and strike breaks up. Capture and strike break up. That's worded really weirdly. It says here that those Stars and Stripes were recognized as fugitives from a foreign country. Huh. I ought to give them a medal instead of hunting and persecuting them. Very well said. So they know who we are. It's going to be tougher than ever to carry on our work now, fellas. But that's not going to stop us. No, sir. We're not stopping till we've cleaned out every spy and every saboteur in the land. Another slam bang patriotic adventure of America's new comic book hero, the Stars and Stripes, in the next issue. How did they know that they were the fugitives? What information did they get to know that the Stars and Stripes were the extinct fugitives? I mean, I don't think that Patrick would have written a story about it. He even says that with their identities known, it'll be hard to carry out the work. So, how did anybody know that the Stars and Stripes were the escaped convicts? That question is never answered. There's no evidence that it was them, unless somebody said, hey, 3 guys are wearing concentration camp uniform. But even when they arrived in the country, they were wearing suits and hats, so nobody even knew that they had concentration camp uniform. That is very strange how anybody was able to deduce their identity. Okay, that's the Stars and Stripes. Okay, while I was, just a quick aside, while I was doing the editing, I realized that they did write the note that they signed in blood about how they were going to be the Stars and Stripes, along with leaving this note for the cops. So there's a possibility that they could have made that connection. So there is possibly an in-universe explanation for how they know. But it does put the Stars and Stripes in a bad light, because now, it does make their work harder now that they're known who they are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope that this one intrigued you as much as it intrigued me. So, like I said, we'll have a video next week. If you have any requests on heroes or villains, because apparently we're covering villains now, just let me know if there's someone that you want to see, and we can add them to the list. So, until next time, I'll be seeing you.